welcome to the Concealed Taco Dudes podcast, episode 130.
Woo! That was great enunciation.
Today is Enunciation Day. It's National
Enunciation Day.
Yeah, make sure to enunciate.
Make
the word
sure
properly.
to enunciate properly.
You know, my son
Yes,
could use
taco.
use today.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ask him a question. What? What?
Mumbling.
He gets mad. I said. You're like, dude.
Like he's got a mouthful of food or something like marbles.
Enunciate.
Yeah.
My wife gets made fun of because she over-enunciates things.
Oh, really?
She pronounces every letter in every word.
Why would you make fun of someone for over-enunciation?
Because it's hilarious.
Well, there is another problem, and I'm all the time going, what? I don't know if you guys have noticed. What? Huh? What? If my wife's not looking at me, I can't hear her. So we're in the car, and she's saying something, and I'm going, what? What? So it's not enunciation, it's old man ears. Is what it is.
Yeah.
That, and
Well, I have those old man ears too.
I have
'cause, like,
tinnitus.
Oh.
Pretty bad.
I don't have that. But yeah,
Back in the day, we didn't believe in ear protection, so...
my wife knows that if I'm not looking at her, I'm not listening.
Yeah.
So
I get that too. Okay, are you ready to go? Where are we going? We have this thing tonight. When did you tell me about that? Last week. Really? What? When? Well, you were doing this and that. Did I say anything when you told me? No. That means I didn't hear what you were saying.
So my wife says, you're not listening to me. And I say, well, that's an odd way to start a conversation. A lot of conversations start with, you're not listening to me. I don't get it.
yeah.
Could be your enunciation.
Yeah.
Which brings us right back around to where we're supposed to be going and continuing.
To the sponsors.
The sponsors.
Yeah.
NOE Bullet Molds at NOE.
Come on, Jason. Enunciation Day.
NOEBulletMolds.com. The finest providers of bullet casting paraphernalia.
And primer refurbishing?
Kits?
Reloading?
Yeah, I would say refurbishing.
Refurbishing? Reloading? It's
Reloading
kinda like
primer. Yeah,
reloading,
you're kind of reload. So Al had this request from some guys to make these primer refurbishing kits. You know, it has a little like a die and a punch to flatten out the.
In fact, I think we should go to lunch down there. Maybe go down and pick up some powder. Take a look at those. You know, do a little walkthrough
so.
of NOE. Just a bro day.
Anyways,
bro day on Enunciation Day.
he made a bunch of these kits to refurbish primers.
Huh.
And
so knock out the
the dimple from the primer
and then they refill
or
it.
It's
the
actually a small nipple.
Inverted nipple. Yeah, sure it is.
Stan looks at it from the other side. So it
You know,
would
like
be-
a guy that has a hammer, everything's a nail. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's a nipple for Stan.
So, anyways, he made these kits, and then they like sold out the first day.
no
Oh,
kidding.
wow.
Yeah, I had no idea there's a demand for people to make or refurbish their primers.
Well, it makes sense now.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody can find primers.
Yeah, so it makes sense in a couple different ways. Like if you for the emergency preparedness or prepper factor of, hey, apocalypse comes, I can reload my own primers. You just got to make sure you have some of the priming compound, which I've heard is not that hard to get.
Huh.
So there's a couple people on MeWe.
MeWe?
It's kind of like the alternative for Facebook that I think only the gun people went to.
Okay.
So they have the information there. They were the ones who contacted Al about making those primer kits, primer refurbishing kits. So you have that, and then you also have the cost. So if you can reload it for cheaper, and if they're reliable, then and you're retired and you have time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just going to say
So you have more time than money.
See, in the equation, time equals money. That might not be true.
True.
If you're retired and have nothing.
Yeah.
And that's not even the thing. Part of it is just like the satisfaction of doing your
Yeah,
own.
so there's that too. But
I'm sure it's more...
He made another run of, I think, 100 of them.
Yeah.
And so they're listed right now. So if you guys are into that kind of thing, like refurbishing primers, then go check it out. Use coupon code FLT001 and it will save you money. I also promised to give the listeners heads up when they ran the first set of steel molds.
Oh, yeah.
And so Al has, I think there's only like 5 left. Sorry.
Not much of a heads up.
He didn't run too many the first run, but
He didn't?
he didn't run like
okay.
a ton.
So he did 6 and there are 5 left.
No, I think he might have done like 10 or something. So
yeah.
not a ton.
But they're
of
still
them.
available.
But they are available, and the mold model number is the 434-234-RF. So look for that mold. It's a round flat, and it's, normally it casts about I guess according to this, a 234 grain.
Are we talking 45 caliber or
44 mag.
44 mag,
Yeah.
okay.
So if you are looking for a steel mold in 44 mag made by NOE, they have a few left in stock. Go ahead and order those, and cool.
And normally we try to do the podcast in the NOE studio.
Yeah,
But
time
the
has
machines are
we
just
haven't-
running right now, so...
We haven't made it out there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you can
schedules and-
sense the quality. It's
Yeah.
diminished.
the audio quality
Yes,
is better.
so we
over
need to
there.
get back
It
in
is.
there.
We do.
Yes.
We do.
So-
We've been lazy as of late.
Yes, NOE bullet molds.
And if you wanted to save your ears from that tinnitus, that tan. Stan.
No, enunciate. Come
Yes. Stan.
on. Yes. Go ahead.
Stan
yes.
has.
Yes, I'm
Then
intrigued.
you can always shoot air guns.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And go to UtahAirguns.com.
Yeah.
Check out their air guns and use coupon code,
Air candy.
and it will give you free shipping and turret stickers.
Well, that's only if you get a compensator on it. Or a...
They're a lot quieter than real guns.
Moderate.
A moderator.
Moderator.
Because,
Moderator.
they're so dang noisy. They need moderators.
Yeah.
Some of them are kind of loud.
Some of them are kind of.
Are they really?
The big
yeah,
bores.
the
yeah.
big bores are
Oh,
kind of like shooting a 22
Yeah.
rifle.
If it's
without
supersonic, you'd get the clap.
Yeah.
The supersonic clap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. not the regular class.
Not the other one.
The small boom. The sonic boom. Continuing on. Yes, Utah Air Guns. Concealment Solutions.
Okay.
How about that guy?
I was thinking of someone
You know,
else. but
he can't enunciate that Concealment Solutions
Solutions.
guy.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
What's new at Concealment Solutions, Jason?
Nothing. Just working my tail off. Trying to keep
What are you
up with
making the
stuff.
most of?
This week? Or
Holsters.
I guess last week.
No, he's
it
got
was,
he's got the stock things too.
it
The
was
air gun stocks.
Yeah.
drop leg holsters.
Drop legs.
Yeah,
Cool.
did a lot of drop legs.
Everybody's getting ready to get out in the
Yeah.
wilderness, and
Yeah.
they want to carry their guns
A lot of
in a
them
comfy way.
for guns with optics. Well, not optics, but optics and/or lights and lasers and stuff like that.
And suppressors, probably. I like the chest holder better. Well, I've got that little 22 drop leg. I really like that, but I think for a hunting
yeah,
situation, I think I'd go for the chest holster.
yeah, the chesticle.
Something between the chesticles.
Yeah, and it fits really nicely behind your binocular case. A lot of guys will wear the binocular case on their chest,
I see.
and it is a nice fit right behind it. No issues.
Isn't there another way you can do that too, depending on the bino case? If they have Velcro, you've got a holster that has Velcro on it.
Yeah,
you can stick
I
inside the
do.
bino case.
Yeah, I haven't seen a bino case with Velcro on the back of it.
Well, I've seen cases that are quote unquote bino cases with multiple. Well, not bino cases, but they look exactly like it with
Yeah.
multiple compartments. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would
Anyway.
work too.
Yeah.
Anyway, check us out at concealmentsolutions.com. Use the code SHOWMETHECANDY at checkout, and you'll save 15% and get some swag.
Swag.
And Utah Air Guns was air candy.
Air
And
candy.
you'd get swag and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have Magholder, magholder.com. Best horizontal mag carriers out there.
And they do have some tactical belts or
Ricky's doing a lot of new products outside of mag carriers. So yeah, he's got a line of belts, knives. So you can pick up mag holder branded gear.
oh cool.
That's pretty cool. So go check them out at magholder.com. Use the code Get in the Van I Have Candy, or
How
Deep
deep
is your
It's your love. Yeah, any
But you
of
have to
those-
sing it like a BG. Well, when you write it down.
Yeah,
If you call,
When you
have to
type
sing
it.
Yeah, you have to be singing.
you have to be singing it while you type it
Yeah,
in.
there you go.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
And last but not least, we have
Lee at Black Ice.
Black Ice
Ice
Coatings.
Coatings.
Yeah.
I will say this last Wednesday we did go down
oh yeah,
the young men's group,
yeah.
and
How was it?
it was awesome. I did have to do a little bit of translation from video game speak to real life speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. One of the boys was asking Lee. He's like, "Have you done any heavy snipers?" and Lee gave this weird look, like, "What did you say?" And so
He probably didn't enunciate.
yeah. So I translated from video game speak to real life, and I asked him if he'd done any long range rifles.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
so he had.
No kidding.
Yeah.
He probably had 12 of them in the works.
large caliber, long range rifles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what the equivalent of a heavy sniper would be.
I would think so.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Depending on the video.
it was great because he saved a stock that he was gonna dip.
Uh-huh.
So he showed us the process.
Oh, cool.
He's good at it.
Yeah, he is.
He's really good at it, and
Yeah.
he made it look super easy. It came out and it was like perfect.
Yeah.
I was like, oh dang, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So he said that no one has used the flying pigs yet.
Really? Okay.
So no one has actually called them and done it yet.
Okay.
So I might have to do
We're
that.
still waiting.
Yeah. So the boys are gonna pick.
And the boys didn't pick the flying pigs.
Well, they didn't. I didn't have them pick while we were there because it would have taken forever.
Yeah.
Right. So we got the tour of the shop, and anyways, kudos to Lee for performing a great service and
Yeah.
a great service.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Oh, and when you call Lee to arrange to send in whatever.
tell him
You want it
slickery.
slickery.
Yeah.
Make it slickery.
Yes.
I think that's it.
All right.
Sponsors. Let's go ahead and go into a news story.
We haven't
done
a news
self-defense in the
story
news
forever.
yeah. Usually Jason does that, so maybe that says something.
No,
about
usually
Jason.
I have one and we forget to do it.
We forget?
Oh,
yeah.
my. Okay, yeah, it's all my fault. This one, a little bit interesting. 17-year-old hospitalized with neck wound. A would-be carjacker remained hospitalized Friday in New Orleans after his intended victim shot him in the neck. The wounded 17-year-old arrived unresponsive Thursday night at the hospital, where police also found his alleged accomplice in the botched Bywater theft. A law enforcement source said. The second suspect, also 17, reportedly admitted participating in the crime. That's bad on you, dude. You don't ever admit. Come on. I just drove him to the hospital. I don't know what's going on. That's what you say.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jeez.
You sound like you have
the
experience.
police department planned to book both with armed robbery and illegal possession of a gun. The crime was reported on the 500 block of Louisiana Street. Stan?
In Louisiana.
In Louisiana.
Gotcha.
Stop by, say hi.
Stop by, say hi.
Police arrived at 7:08 p.m. 10 minutes after being called, according to publicly available data. I can't read today.
And it's even enunciate day.
And it's even large print.
Wow.
There, the two teens targeted a 48-year-old man who had gotten out of his vehicle and was walking toward his house. The teens drove their own vehicle in reverse down the man's street and got out of the passenger seat. One got out of the passenger seat, pointed a gun at the man, and demanded his keys. This is where it gets interesting. So, if you guys are like me, you run through scenarios through your head periodically. You're at the store, or you're in the restaurant, or you're whatever, and you got nothing else to think about, and you're like, what if this happened right now? What would I do? I'm pretty sure this guy had done that before, because this is what he does.
Wait, let me predict.
Okay.
This is like what I would do.
Okay.
I would throw my keys on the ground,
Uh-huh.
and then when they looked to grab the keys, I'd pull out my own gun.
Very
But
similar. And I've had the same thought. So, the man told police he flung his keys, took cover under a nearby car, and pulled out a pistol.
ooh, that's even better.
I know. That's what I'm saying. This guy had thought about this before. He said he saw...
You want my keys? Go get
Here
them.
they are! Woo.
Throw them into the bushes.
Yeah.
Rose.
said
Rose
he's-
bushes.
Yeah.
He saw one teen by his vehicle pointing a gun at him. The man told police he fired a single shot at the teen, then ran for his house. He said he heard someone scream an expletive, then both teens drove away on Louisiana in their vehicle.
In their vehicle or
In
his
their
vehicle?
vehicle.
Yeah. Because he
Okay.
got shot in the
Yeah.
freaking neck.
Yeah.
The teens picked up a third person,
Oh.
then went to the hospital. Gets even more interesting. There, police seized 2 pistols, one of them stolen from the accomplice, who told officers the guns belonged to him and the wounded suspect. The suspected accomplice was with his grandmother. That's who they stopped to pick up. Grandma, you need to go to the hospital with us. We're scared.
Oh my goodness. Was she an accomplice?
And both agreed to interviews. At the scene of the crime, police found evidence of a single shot. Since May,
That's good aim.
But
You
a
gotta.
bullet hole. Yeah.
one and to not just unload.
Yeah.
You know, just pop, 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 and
Just pop and then.
and take
And then
off.
run.
Yeah, yeah. Since May, 4 people have had their vehicles stolen at gunpoint in that same area in Louisiana.
Oh jeez.
But
All right, here's a question.
'Kay.
Would you have stopped with one shot? Or would you got like
that's
a pop,
the
pop,
thing.
pop, a couple shots to get him
It depends
down?
on the situation. I'm thinking what he did.
It worked.
Can't fault that guy for
Yeah.
anything. And it sounded like he kind of had thought about this before and executed his plan, which goes to prove that you need to be thinking about stuff like that and what ifs and how you'd react. But I would think that it would be more reactive to rip off a few shots.
A few shots, yeah. I mean, what are the chances that you'd hit the target first shot? I mean,
You never know, and we
and
don't know how
how far.
He
Yeah,
was,
in my mind, I'm thinking they're like pretty far. Like, I don't know.
If he
If it's
fired
close,
one shot and realized, hey, I connected, I'm getting out of here.
Well, yeah. I mean, you shoot to stop, not to kill,
Right.
or hurt or maim. So,
Right.
Yeah.
he shoots the guy, and the guy maybe falls down. I'm hit.
Yeah,
Then he runs in. I mean, we don't know if it was bang and run.
yeah,
Yeah.
So maybe the guy was being responsible. Shot.
Well, and the
shot to stop.
kid he shot was standing by his own car, so he probably didn't want to put any bullet holes in his own car. So
Oh, hang on. Can you move over just a little?
if he was
Yeah.
shooting at their car, it would have been riddled.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Timing on this one is probably key, but I suspect that maybe the guy was just responsible. One shot,
Yeah,
put him down,
Well,
I'm gone.
The thing
Yeah.
is, he was moving to safety.
yeah.
He
did
threw the
everything
keys, ran,
Which distracted
covered behind
them.
a car.
Yeah.
Then he shot, and then he ran into the house.
I imagine
so-
he'd be up over the top of the car. You
Or around
don't
the
know.
corner or whatever.
Something.
Up
But-
underneath or on the side. Yeah, it's hard
but
to
he
say.
was.
But
he was shooting. He
I'm-
was shooting and moving.
I'm guessing, and we don't know anything about this guy, but I'm guessing he's had some training
Yeah.
also.
Oh yeah.
And maybe he's even, if he was law enforcement, they probably would have said something. But
Yeah,
he could be ex-military or just a guy like us that has been to classes and has trained and practiced and thought about things. But
Shot to the neck though. That's.
I'm guessing he wasn't aiming for the neck.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
I
shoot
mean,
him right in the neck. Watch this.
but I mean, you miss those arteries.
Yeah.
You got a trachea.
Oh, there's anything in the
Spinal
neck.
injury.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
surprised the guy was able to get away and get his grandma to.
Well,
It was the other guy.
accomplices
Yeah.
picked up his grandma.
Yeah.
There you go. But anyway,
Maybe
interesting story.
she was down the street on the corner waiting for her new car, and they rolled up and were like,
Her new car.
"Where's my car? You promised. Just get in and shut up."
Yeah. Well, it speaks volumes for training and having a gun with you. Not to mention, well, it doesn't even matter what the caliber was.
Yeah.
But it also, as I've noticed in most of these stories, criminals, once they get hit, they kind of lose the will to
Yeah.
continue on. It's
As soon
not
as
worth it
there's
for them.
resistance, it seems like they give up pretty quick. Not always.
Yeah.
You got the guys, banging on the door or breaking a window, and they have a gun in their face with somebody yelling at them, "I'm going to shoot you," and they keep coming in
Yeah.
Yeah.
till they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So anyway, great story.
yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Thanks for getting that. Okay, so
well done.
we do have some listener feedback.
Okay.
We have listeners.
We have
I thought we were just doing this for fun.
four listeners.
You always wondered why there were these.
I don't get out much. What are
Microphones.
These, what are these fuzzy things attached to your phones?
Yeah, so Jared C writes in. He says, "Hello guys, this message is for Taco. What is the cartridge overall length for your 500 Smith & Wesson loads with the 700 grain wad cutter bullets? Those are those massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, NOE made a run of those, and they're like, you could do some crazy deep hollow points. But anyways, he says, I don't have any cast right now, and basically he's making a custom ammo.
Well, there's a guy on Etsy.
Yes, who
that
makes
he's talking with
custom
up in
ammo
Idaho
cases.
that makes ammo boxes, and I guess
wood.
No, they're 3D printed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they actually look pretty nice.
Yeah, and they look like they lock together, like when you stack them, that they kind of interlock and everything. They're pretty nice looking. But this guy, I talked to Jared, that's why I know. But yeah, he said he just needs some specs on the cartridge
with that massive,
and then he's gonna make me some.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
So he said I sketched up the initial specs for this 500 Smith & Wesson case for this, and the guy will modify it for the final design. Check out his stuff; looks really nice. Thanks. And so the answer to that is 2.295 inches. So
okay,
give or take
a little bit. It does depend on brass length.
Do you remember the name of the place on Etsy?
I don't.
I can't remember, and it's on my phone, and my phone's busy.
No, you got a fuzzy thing on it.
I know.
Yeah. So, anyways, and I did email back that information to Jared C.
Good.
All right, the next one is from Mike in Pennsylvania. And he says, Taco, I took another deep dive into the Aguila. It says there's a Q, but and I think it is Aguila.
It is Aguila.
Zinc bullet research and found the following. This report is from a medical examiner, police lab, but it shows the bullet composition and performance in the real world, and yes, out of a high point. Interesting.
Wow.
So
they just ticked all your boxes.
Anyways, if someone's interested in that, then I could send them, email us, and I can forward the link. But it was a PDF of that information. So.
Cool.
And then Kevin C. Man, there's a lot of C's here. So Kevin C. writes in and says, Taco, I'd love to hear about terminal ballistics of lead versus zinc. With the higher velocity and harder bullet, what difference would it make in ballistic gel or a game animal? So
That's the big question.
That is the big question. And we do have some thoughts, but that will be part of the topic. So we'll basically, we did some testing, but it's just initial load testing.
I'd like to throw some in the 223 and see what it does on rabbits.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
that'd be cool. And I need to get a steel mold for 223, but I do have some 223 bullets that I did cast out of an aluminum mold that is not recommended to do because it's
hard on them.
It's really hard on them. So
Gotcha.
all right, and then Kevin C. continues, and he says, Jason, when I was a kid in the late 60s or early 70s, I went bike camping with some friends.
Nice.
One of the guys had hammock tents we used. I think his dad was military, and he got them in the PX.
Huh.
I suspect they were Vietnam issue. Oh, interesting.
Cool.
They had a roof, mosquito net sides, zippers, etc. Don't remember if they were enclosed with canvas too. Your favorite Kevin C.
All right.
Didn't
That's
know we had a
cool.
favorite, but
Yeah.
now
It
we
was
do.
it was probably they did like they were called jungle hammocks. And that's probably what it was that they were using. That's cool.
I didn't see Forrest Gump using one, so.
So yeah,
The
I mean, in the
documentary.
documentary.
You've just been debunked, Kevin. But your memory has failed you. It didn't really happen.
No.
'Cause-
I didn't see Forrest using one in the documentary.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
All right, and then this one is from our favorite flexible person,
Ben D.
Bendy. Yeah, so Ben D writes in and says, Hey dudes, I have 2 questions regarding the zinc bullets. First, have we seen
I
evidence
wonder if
of...
his last name is Dover.
Ben D. Dover.
Just Ben.
Just Ben.
Ben.
Yeah. All right.
Out of the documentary Fletch.
Oh yeah. I got you. Following you now, Stan.
Okay, so Bendy says, Hey dudes, I have 2 questions regarding zinc bullets. First, have we seen any evidence in the rifles of zinking the bores? Kind of like what?
Hopefully we'll get into that.
Lead deposits,
Yeah.
yeah. Second, are they still safe for steel targets, or do they rebound or fragment back toward the shooter? Do they damage the plates? keep it coming. This Zinc stuff is really intriguing. Now, Bendy, for the topic today, we will have some of those answers. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Dun, dun, dun.
All right, and that's what we have for listener feedback.
Cool.
All right. Well done. And I compliment you on your enunciation.
Well, thank you.
You've done well.
Excellent. Should we move into what we did with guns?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jason, what did you do with guns?
I'll start. I'm actually, right now, in the process, handcrafting,
Zinc bullets.
no,
Oh, disappointed.
2 double-barreled shotguns.
Oh, not disappointed.
What?
It's true.
Handcrafting.
Yes. That's what I do, Stan.
Are you a gunsmith? I don't
Well,
think
you
you're-
are. Why can't I be?
Well, you haven't received the requisite training.
Well, he's not a gunsmith, but he's a gun manufacturer.
Oh,
I'm a holster smith.
okay. So you're serious about this?
Yeah. They're-
What does it entail to?
Is it black powder?
No, they will shoot rubber bands.
Oh,
My grandson is
All right.
2.
Now I'm all disappointed. I'm thinking he's like gonna be.
wow, where'd he get these barrels?
Yeah, that would be
Because
awesome.
there's a lot of work that goes
They're
into
wood dowels
Yeah.
with
okay.
notches I carve on the ends of them to hold the rubber bands. So when you're loading, they don't come off and snap your fingers. My grandson will be 2 on Monday.
No, that's great.
And so
Start him early.
That's
these are his
great,
first
yay.
guns.
Yeah.
Jason's making a shotgun.
It's your for your grandson.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I need to make one for my granddaughter.
Yeah.
Maybe I will steal your
I
plans.
have patterns.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have been making these for years with my own kids as they were growing up.
Okay.
And then as I had like nephews and stuff as they're growing up, and this is like what I give them when
That's
they're a
awesome.
kid,
No,
is
that's really
they
cool.
They get 2 rubber band guns, and then they get a pack of like army men or cowboys and Indians, and you set them up on both sides, and you take turns, and whoever knocks down the other guys all first
Sounds
wins.
fun.
I need to get a
That's like what we do with air guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the,
Yeah.
Sure.
the scouts or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It actually was really fun.
It is.
My granddaughter will be 3, and
But
so
my
I need to-
nephew is getting a pack of safari animals.
Awesome.
So it will be able to go on
safari.
African safari
What's the
hunts.
firing mechanism? A clothespin or
Yes, clothespin.
So one on each barrel, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't get fancy with the roller ones. And,
Shooting a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Just 2's good enough.
Exactly.
Then
It makes them work on their aim.
there you go.
Other than that, I had some really interesting guns come through the shop last week. Have any of you heard of a Lionheart?
Yes, I have.
Really?
From
A
me.
holster maker told me about it earlier this week.
I see.
So
what is
Speak of the
Lionheart?
devil.
It's the best way I can describe it. It's a new company that was just recently purchased by somebody else. They're in Washington State, but they were in Washington State. Now they are either being moved to or are in Georgia. But it is the best way I can describe it is if you took like a SIG P226 and bred it with a 1911. That's kind of the aesthetics that you get from it. It's a steel frame gun, very lightweight, so it's some kind of alloy. But it wasn't a super heavy steel frame gun. Hammer fired, double single action. But the thing that was really unique about it is it has a decocker sort of.
Mm-hmm.
So when the hammer's back, you just push it with your thumb and it decocks.
That seems weird.
It's really weird. And the trigger pull after you've decocked it is kind of odd too. It's not a bad trigger pull. It's just weird because you kind of feel it pull through the double action. There's like a little catch
Yeah.
almost, and then it hits the single action, and it's a pretty decent single action. But
So you said they were double.
It's a double single
double
action.
stack.
No, double single trigger.
No, like magazine.
I believe they are double. Yeah, it is a double stack magazine.
Okay.
So that's the SIG 226 part of it.
Yeah, and it's got a rail, and they were this one I had come through was
What's
thread
the
and everything.
kind of like the
9mm.
purpose of them? Is it
I
just-
don't know, other than
It's just something
another
different.
gun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Something unique. That
You didn't take it out and shoot it?
no, it wasn't mine to shoot. This came from a guy that has a training group and stuff. And
Jason's almost out of ammo because he hasn't set up his reloading press yet. So
Yes, he has.
it's been set up several times, and every time I go to use it, it unsets itself up.
How does
that's
that-
that Lee Pro 1000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
something.
Does it not work?
It just gives me.
You should sell your
Issues.
Lee Pro 1000 to Stan. I'm sure he wants another
I'd give you
one.
$127 for it. That's what I paid for mine. And honestly, there are some idiosyncrasies.
That's the thing, is they're just kind of quirky, and I don't have the patience.
I've done
for it.
thousands.
I know, and there's
literally
lots of people
thousands
who
of
have.
rounds.
Yeah.
There's lots of
It's,
people.
I think with those, if you,
I just don't have
you'd
the
want to
patience
just get
for it.
one and set it up for one caliber and one load, and just,
No,
that's all I've tried to do.
No, it's really not. It's way easier than a Dillon 500. I've run
To set it up?
I've set Carl's up for him a couple
like,
of times.
The Dillon 550 is that what you're
Yeah,
talking about?
550, and I've done the
The 750, 650.
yeah, the caliber change. It's 550s.
Yeah.
Is what he has. He had two of them, but yeah, the Pro 1000.
This
It
is-
works.
This episode's about me right now, Stan.
I know.
Me.
I'm sorry.
Another really cool gun that came through was a Canic Rival. That's kind of their new. This gun looks like it is out of the box competition ready. That was kind of looks like it's a purpose built competition gun. I was super impressed with it. The trigger on it was amazing. It was so. This is another really good customer that I've done a lot of stuff for, and she brought it in, and I was playing with it. And she's like, "Yeah, feel the trigger." It's like, "Wow!" I'm like, "That's great." I'm like, "What trigger did you put in it?" She's like, "That's the factory trigger.
Yeah.
That's the way it came, and it's also set up compensated, and bigger mag release and optic ready, and I don't know what they're going for, but they're not expensive because it's a Canic. They're probably $500. They're under 600, I'm guessing. But I was really impressed with it.
Yeah. Nothing fancy. I've actually recently watched his video on them, and he loves them.
Yeah.
Did you watch the whole video?
Yeah, probably.
Like 2 hours,
Really?
3 hours?
No, I've never seen.
Yeah,
I've never seen a 2 or 3 hour one.
Do you just
I've
skip
seen
to
an
the
hour one. He does the tabletop. Sometimes they're a little longer.
I've tried to watch 2 videos.
I
for
love
him,
his stuff.
And I am like, no, too long.
He's great. He just did one on the dagger, the PSA dagger. I'll bet they sell out of daggers just because of what he says.
Yeah.
He's that big, and
Oh, I know he is.
Yeah, he
I
just
know he is. He just
his
rambles.
videos are
has he ever
really
come
long.
and done a holster with you?
No,
No. Okay.
no. At one
Interesting.
point, I contacted him or tried to for something. I can't remember what it was. Never even responded.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He's pretty big now. Right in the beginning when we were
I don't
doing.
care.
Go ahead.
I don't care how big you are. That's just rude.
Oh, he probably just didn't get down to it. He gets a ton of stuff.
He doesn't even look at his own emails.
Really?
No.
I'm sure. I don't know how he does everything he does.
Last
What do
but
you got
not
there in your
least-
hands?
So we spent a little bit of time over at Mark's house the other day, helping him kind of go through some stuff he wants to get rid of and that. He's got this Kel-Tec Sub 2000. You guys know I like the Sub 2000, but I currently don't own one. I actually
I thought
sold
you
mine
said
to
you.
Mark.
Oh, I thought you
Is
said
this
you
the-
had one already.
This is not the one.
Okay.
No. Well, no. I have Mark's other one.
Oh, okay.
I'm selling that for him.
I see.
This one I think I'm buying from Mark. This is actually,
How much are you going to buy it for?
I don't know yet. We're working that out.
I'll do that plus $1.
Okay.
Oh,
This is a limited edition
Ooh.
M series M Carbo Sub 2000 in 9mm with that takes the Glock 19 mags. So I just briefly tried to do a little bit of research on it. M Carbo is military carbine brotherhood.
they make aftermarket parts.
They make aftermarket competition parts and stuff like that. So this thing has all their stuff on it.
What did we say? We didn't like the
Right
sight?
in the back.
This part?
That would
Yeah,
have, yeah.
the little-
They have a little nub in the back.
It catches.
It catches the hearing protection if you
Yeah.
use the big muffs.
But that's not unusual for a lot of rifles.
That-
Anyway,
yeah.
So this thing's got their competition trigger in it. It's got a compensator on it, extended mag release. The big drawback to the Sub 2000 is if you put an optic on it, you can't fold it closed, which is kind of the cool thing about it. This has a rail mount that flips out of the way when you fold it.
Yeah, that
And
is
it's got
cool.
an extended charge handle. The trigger guard is metal instead of plastic.
It's got a coating on
It's-
the buffer tube
It's a
part.
rubber
not-
it's a rubber boot, I think.
yeah, but it's still
Yeah.
Yeah.
it kind of shields your face
But
a
it's
little
just
bit more.
it's just cool.
It is. And the trigger's good.
Did you
It
have
is.
Lee? Did he have Lee Teflon the bolt? It looks
I
dark.
don't think Lee's done anything to it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But anyway,
Yeah.
That is cool.
so I'm talking with Mark about the last time I asked him how much he wanted for it. He said 19 cents.
I'll give him
went in-
20.
So that's
Oh.
$1.19.
$1.19. Sold.
So anyway, I think this is cool. I will probably end up with it.
Yeah.
Just because I like them, and there's a lot more to like with that one.
Yeah, that one has a lot of cool features. The fact that it has the flipping red
You can
dot,
put a red dot on
and you
it.
can still fold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it nice.
Well, we'll have to see, what the offers are on it. Who
whatever.
bids the highest?
Whatever. It's a closed bid, Stan.
Just text him today. Say $1.
Jason's bid plus $1.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Closed bid. Yeah.
Anyway, now we're going to talk about what you guys did with guns, and that's more or less going to be our topic.
Yeah. So we had our range day, aka what'd you call it, Stan?
Bro Day.
Bro day.
Actually, it was more like a family day for me because I remember I brought my daughter. Ellie
yeah.
came.
Yeah, I brought my son,
Yeah.
and Evan was there.
And Evan was there.
And
part
he's-
of the family.
He's
and
like part of the full lead taco family.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also your friend,
Oh yeah.
what was
Kenny.
his name? Kenny.
It was a different Kenny.
Different, not
Yeah.
Eagle Eye Kenny, just the other
Yeah,
Kenny.
different Kenny. Yeah, we
Was
had,
it Letter Kenny?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah. So we did some.
To be fair.
we did a
it
lot of
wasn't-
testing. I had a lot of. My truck was loaded up, and I didn't
Shocking.
even get like half of the testing done. It was
Shocking.
I had a ton of testing. Actually,
Yeah,
quite,
you had a
quite
bunch
bit
too.
as well. So where do you want to start?
all right. Let's go with first. We went ahead with your Mosin Nagant. That was awesome.
I bought this Mosin Nagant from Taco. It's sort of an heirloom now.
Yeah.
No, it's actually a really nice Mosin Nagant. And we loaded up some 135. You had a mold for the 135
Yeah,
AK
it's-
round, gas checked.
Yeah, the mold, I was going to mention the mold
Okay.
model. It's the 314-SP 129. So I think it's a 129 grain, but it has a gas check shank, so you put a gas check on.
They're about
Adds-
135.
Yeah. And then powder coated. So,
Yeah, powder coated, gas
so these
checked.
were powder coated gas check bullets. I made them like a long time ago, probably like 5 years ago or something. And it was for a
And they
friend.
didn't spoil.
They didn't spoil, yeah. And it was for a friend, a Russian friend, who has one of the M44, the short Mosin Nagants. And he was complaining about how, it
hurt his shoulder.
It hurt my shoulder. So
He's not a real Russian.
he is a real Russian.
Yeah.
But anyways, he wanted something that was a little bit less recoil for him and his wife to shoot. And so I made these for him and loaded it up. And
Now the load was actually quite unique.
it's
in
an
that
interesting load, right?
we're using red dot. 13 and
that's
a
a
half.
shotgun powder.
Yeah, 13 and a half grains of red dot.
13 grains.
Was it 13?
Yeah, 13 grains.
Yeah. 13 and a half.
13.5 is not gonna. It's not gonna make him. It's not gonna be dangerous.
It
or
won't
anything.
hurt it either.
It'll be fine.
No, but red dot. And I had some leftover red dot that I discovered. And so
It was ancient history red dot.
it is. It's historical.
It's antique.
Yeah.
Antique. He used antique red
powder.
dot.
Huh.
Yeah.
Smelled okay.
How did it taste?
It was very delicious.
Okay.
It had a crisp, sort of fruity finish.
Okay.
No, so my father-in-law gave me some red dot powder, and it's in the cylindrical cans with sort of a plastic cork in it instead of a straw. Yeah.
Twist top.
Yeah, but these loads were, we were just doing it to plink with, and I loaded up 25 with the AK bullet and 25, and they were .314s for the
Yes.
bore, right?
Yeah.
And then I loaded up some 308s. The
308
314s
plated bullets.
plated just some.
I think they're like 30 bullets.
Yeah. Yeah, they were sort of square nose for flat nose.
Yeah. so
150
leather
grains.
makes sense,
30.
But the 314s were great. He was very accurate with it. I
So
didn't
Stan
have my
kept
glasses.
missing, and so I was wondering if the load was bad or
Yeah,
something.
so he shot it.
So I took the rifle and I was hitting the steel targets at 100 yards.
I do better with scopes because I didn't have my glasses with me.
And
You were hitting
that load
200 yards worth.
Yeah, I think so.
Something
And
like
it
that.
was shooting good.
10-inch plate, ding in the plate, and then I put the 308s in, and it was just tumbling down the barrel. I'd shoot.
Stan shoots. It's like, hey, you're like really low, like 15 feet low. And then in the next shot, dude, you were like 20 feet to the left. And then just like it was that
so
bad.
In short,
it was crazy.
308 is less than 314, and the bore needed at least a 314.
At least 312 or
312, something like that. It was just an experimental.
Is this all with the Mosin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All with the Mosin.
Okay.
But I was surprised how bad
Yeah.
those plated bullets did.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think it had anything to do with the bullet. It was just the size. Cause
that's what I'm saying.
I've shot those.
How bad the plated bullet did, the undersized plated bullet.
bullet. Yeah.
Because I've shot those through a 300 blackout, and they do just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. At slower speeds, you don't want to shoot them too fast because they're plated. But it is funny how different the bore is. You know, I just assumed. Well, I knew that it might be undersized. 7.62 by 54 Russian is not actually 7.62. Actually, I think they do it to the lands instead of the grooves.
I don't know.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. What else did we?
So we took that same bullet and we loaded it in the AK, so the 7.62 by 39 cartridge. Mm-hmm. And I was using. Let's see if I have the load data. I don't have the load data with me right now, but it was kicking it out. It was IMR 4198, and we were shooting it out about 2,000 feet per second. And when I was chronographing it, it was like I got duplicate, like 2,000 and then 2,000.
Yeah.
So I just stopped. To get the exact same chronograph numbers, it's like doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So that was a sign of good luck for this cartridge. But anyways, that same bullet, 135 grain, going at about 2,000 feet per second. That shot really well.
Out of
Also
the AK.
in the AK.
and the SKS.
We shot it in the SKS. But one of the things that we tested that was the first time I'd taken my Palmetto AK out. I've had it for about a year
Yeah.
or something.
Probably.
Anyways, that AK had issues.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at first I thought it was the ammo because, reloaded ammo, whatever. That's
Sure.
what you would assume first for a new gun. But I think the extractor was out of spec. And so it would fail to go into battery like an inch back. So I think some is just too much, what would you call it, like pressure to close. So, yeah, it was almost as if the spring wasn't springy enough to slam it home. It was just getting caught.
Yeah.
So that one I called Palmetto, and they just created an RMA. So they
Nice.
prepaid label, shipped it back to them. So I just got to wait and see. So kudos to Palmetto for
Taking
paying
care of it.
Yeah, paying
Yeah.
for shipping back, and hopefully they don't take too long to get it back to me because I like it. But
It's really a nice AK. I was disappointed.
Other than the fact that it didn't actually shoot anything.
well, it would shoot
Oh, it
and then it would hang up.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, so you'd have to rack.
And
That's even
it
worse.
did that with the factory steel cased ammo too. So
I had
that's
some Tula.
So that's why I knew that it was an
okay.
issue.
Yeah.
So we took that same load and shot it in the SKS, and that was a hoot. I actually kind of miss the SKS.
I like my SKS.
Man, that made me kind of miss having an SKS. I had a couple Norinkos with the pig sticker on, before, and
That's what that one was. The Noriko.
yeah, I saw because
I'd put a blade
you
on
put you put a Yugo blade in it, and so it was kind of fun.
Yeah, I actually
I like the Yugo blade way better.
Do you really?
It looks
I was
cooler.
going to say I like the pig sticker because the blade doesn't stick up.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
so I've got both.
I think it
changed them.
looks better with that nice wide blade,
I've been meaning to sharpen it, so I'd have.
Oh yeah. So
something,
it'd be
if I needed to,
I don't know,
cut
Stan. You
something.
might hurt yourself with that.
I know.
You
I'll stick a cork on the end of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually have two of those.
You have two SKSs?
Yeah, I gave one of them to my father-in-law, and so he's got it over
Oh, so you have one.
in Colorado. Yeah, but,
I was gonna say if you have one, we could arrange some kind of a trade.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I probably have something that you need. But-
yeah. But it's like the Russian version of, or early version of the M1 Garand.
It takes
kind of.
stripper clips and it goes into an internal magazine in 10 rounds.
And I've had everything on it. I've had the stock, the folding stock, the 45 round mags, the adapter, this and everything. And I've put it back to pretty much stock.
factory.
I've got a different hand guard on it, but that's it.
Yeah, when I had mine, I kind of modded it out and stuff, and you have to be careful with the 922R compliance
Rules,
stuff.
yeah.
But anyways, like if I got another one, which I think I may, I should get it before they get too expensive. But
Well, I like that, and I like the Mini 30 as well.
yeah,
Mini 30s are $900 now.
I know, and they take weird mags,
They do.
and so
If
they
has some weird mags.
if they had like made it take like AR mags or something, it
Yeah,
would be
or even AK mags.
AK mags.
Yeah,
have it.
why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've actually looked at the Mini 30, but I still like the SKS.
Yeah.
I don't shoot a lot of 7.62 by 39.
But just shooting, iron sights, military rifles, the SKS was fun. Mm-hmm. I think we need to zero it though. Wasn't it shooting a little to the? Was it left or right?
Oh no, I thought it was just low or high.
Maybe
I actually
maybe
have the tool to do it.
I was gonna say I ordered the tool after shooting on
that week, or
Yeah.
last week. No kidding.
So it's coming today.
I have the tool, and I've actually shot it on paper plates.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No,
and
it was my AK that was shooting to the left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this one will do can-size groups on a paper plate. Well,
Yeah.
at 100 yards. Back when I had good eyes.
Yeah.
And if I had my glasses on, it might make a difference.
And
But
the SKS has the zero at 300 meters, I think.
that's if you put it up on the ramp. It's zero out to... so that's a combat. It's the universal.
Oh, okay.
Put it up on that ramp, or you put it down in, and it's zeroed at
Oh,
100.
okay.
So
Oh, nice.
Usually I leave it at that combat setting. So
Okay. Yeah.
the triggers are really interesting.
Yeah,
this one's stamped. The trigger is stamped.
It's not the greatest, but it's not bad.
You know what? It actually has a lot of travel and sort of a catch just before it fires.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a two-stage.
Yeah, you could call it your two-stage SKS trigger.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, it was a lot of fun.
and then alongside those same cartridge, same mags like the AK mags, I brought that PTR 32.
Oh, yeah.
But I forgot the Magpul mag, and I had an old Bulgarian steel mag, surplus mag.
Did it work?
It wouldn't.
Didn't work.
It would not feed from that mag, and so that has me totally second guessing if I should just sell that thing.
The PTR.
Yeah, PTR 32 that takes, it's basically a miniature PTR 91,
Yeah.
but it takes AK mags. But if it only takes, if it's made to shoot with the, the Magpul mags,
Yeah.
then it's not worth it. Because I have so many old steel, like
Do you?
Bulgarian, Korean, all kinds of old steel mags.
Well, now I'm looking at the PSAK. It actually had a pretty good trigger on it, I thought.
Oh yeah, it did. That was one thing.
Really
it did
good.
have a good trigger.
I was surprised.
Yeah, it's
So-
got a Tapco in there, and it works great.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're thinking about getting a PTR 32, I'd say you should buy one
dollar-wise, what's the difference?
from Taco.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I would steer clear from it unless I should contact PTR and just see if they can fix that,
Yeah.
or if it's just a design
Yeah.
flaw,
Or maybe it was that particular mag.
Yeah.
Too.
So
But I don't know. I think the PTRs are really cool.
they are. We did shoot the PTR 91,
91.
and we were shooting my old, what was it, the loads with the 160 grain bullets where I pulled the tips out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were hitting steel targets way out there. I think did I hit the 500?
I think you did.
Yeah,
I think
was
I
hitting
might
the
have hit it. A blind squirrel get a nut every now and again. And
That one shoots really nice.
It does.
I like that PTR 91. The recoil is with that roller delayed blowback or whatever. That action is really pleasant to shoot.
it's a slim, compact, sort of trimmed down gun. The trigger takes a little getting used to. I
Yeah,
thought,
the triggers-
but it was good.
It's
Yeah.
not horrible, but it is just different.
Yeah. So we shot some of my FMJ loads through it as well.
But that one was from the start. Like it was right on.
Yeah, and you had the original mags with that one. It uses the
Oh yeah. So I had one crusty mag from, I posted a picture on Instagram and said, hey, this might take some elbow grease. And we cleaned it up, or I cleaned it up, and then I polished it up, and I took it to a buddy who said, oh, I might be able to polish it even better. And so he polished it a little bit. The thing worked flawless. I didn't even use some of the nice looking mags. We just used the ugly mag.
So you wanted that to be sort of your bellwether, see if it worked right.
Yeah, I wanted to see, hey,
if the crappy ones
does the
work,
crappy,
the good ones do.
If the crappy one works, then of course the good ones would work.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
did we shoot any zinc through that one? We did.
We did not. I did bring the Zinc 308s, but we ran out of time.
Yeah. Oh, no kidding. Much. Well, I want to back up just a little bit real quick. I shot some of your 135, the bunny farts, through my AR-10, or excuse me, 300 Blackout pistol.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
Perfect. Yeah, it worked fine. I need to get a sight on it. Remember, I had the iron sights. And again, I didn't have my glasses, so.
yeah.
But I think I'm just going to put a red dot or something on that one as a PDW.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And those things, we used 1680 in that.
No, so you're talking about, it wasn't the bunny farce, it was the 225 grain taco bullets.
Oh, the taco bullets,
the big long head ones.
Yeah, so they were subsonic and...
those, you were hitting stuff, and then you shot it with your bolt action, too.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it cycled in the
pistol and in the bolt action.
And in the bolt action.
So that's actually a fun bullet. It's pretty cheap to reload and doesn't use a lot of powder. And
you're just, what were we at, 10 and a half?
Something like that, yeah. But, 300 Blackout, I'm liking it more and more.
It's a very efficient cartridge for using cast bullets.
Yeah. You
use a little bit more lead, but then powder-wise, you're only using like 10, 11 grains.
Yeah, and I wish I'd had my suppressor on it to see how that.
Yeah, and then if you're using pistol powders, you're using very minimal. Like I think it's somewhere around 4 grains of Trail Boss with the bunny fart bullet.
Yeah,
the 135. And
what I was going for was functionality to make sure I hadn't tested that gun, so that worked real well. So moving on to the Zinc.
Yeah, we got to hit the Zinc. Did you get to shoot some of the 45-70 Zinc?
Yeah, I remember, and the 44.
Oh, both you were there for both.
Yeah,
nice. So
I think I got a couple of the water jugs too.
Oh yeah, so, I think we have footage. I need to spend hours in stitching together a video on the Zinc.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I'm currently on strike again. YouTube gave me another channel strike, so I have 2, so I can't upload for like 2 weeks or something. But
unless you put it on Rumble.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about maybe even doing a Rumble exclusive and then have a trailer on YouTube saying, hey, if you want to see this video,
go to
Rumble. Yeah.
But you got some really remarkable results, I thought.
Yeah, it was cool. So we took some 500 grain or a 500 grain mold a mold that would cast 500 grain lead bullets, and it cast the Zinc ones out at 291 grains. And I had 2 different loadings. We had 35 grains of IMR 4198, and I did use quick load to run through the scenarios to see what I could get like the most velocity with the limited case capacity and the lightweight bullet. And the heavier or the slower powders, just the bullet's so light that you have to use a faster powder to get it going faster, which is opposite of what you would normally do. Like all the long range cartridges use really slow powders.
Well, you've got to have enough pressure there.
Yeah, the pressure
for it to be efficient.
And having a straight wall, the 4570. Yeah, you got to get that fat.
They're cool looking bullets. They're huge. And they're crunchy. They
are crunchy, which we bid on to,
they are actually crunchy. It's weird.
But in an 1895, the Marlin 1895 SBL.
Yours a Remington Marlin.
No, right? mine was I had the Remlin, and I think Kenny had his Remlin also, but he had his reworked, and it was really smooth. Yeah. And he had the suppressor on it.
Yeah.
So it came out to, with 35 grains IMR 4198, it was 1,600 feet per second. So not bad for a huge bullet that takes up, so much of the case inside.
Yeah.
And then with the other load, the 36 grains, then it added about 50 feet per second. So 1,650 feet per second.
Gotcha.
And then I did have some accidental loads, which I loaded of 36 grains of IMR 4895.
Which is slower, right?
It's slower, and those things were only going, they were just putting out at around just over 1,000 feet per second.
No kidding.
So 1,100, I
I'm
think.
surprised it made that much difference.
Yeah,
so
it's
the other
crazy.
one was what? 4895?
Yeah, IMR 4198, and then 4895.
Gotcha.
So I had discovered, my mistake in the loading process, and then I just figured, slower powder is going to be totally fine anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But I did also run it through quick load, and I was right.
You
It
were
was
okay.
way too
So
slow.
all of this for science.
Yeah, and so we actually shot some steel plates with that pretty fast moving, 1650 feet per second load. We shot some steel plates with that.
Now, did you
The
shoot-
hardened steel.
I was going to say, did you shoot the
We didn't shoot
low carbon?
Yeah, we didn't shoot the
Mild
mild steel
Okay.
plates just because time and
Yeah.
everything. But it did not really damage the hardened steel plates, like the AR-500 steel.
Just put a dent in it.
Just like kind of like if you were to shoot it with a jacketed, a heavy 4570 jacketed load, it'd probably do about the same thing.
Yeah.
But not really much damage. It looks like the hard zinc just shatters in fragments.
Fragments. I was going to say, it's not real scientific. We didn't set up actual distances.
Yeah, it would be
and stuff
really
like that.
cool if we had, say, like a slow motion camera, high frame rate camera to actually see the bullet hit and fragment. But
An interesting thought. Guys do a lot of. They'll put up like drywall and 2x4s just to see what these bullets would do, how they would react to.
yeah, that was like Noah's
home
science
walls.
project.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to do that. There are a lot of things we can do with these.
Yeah.
Test how much they fragment and
What I want to do is
penetrate.
take two of the same, like one a hard cast lead bullet and then one of them a zinc bullet, and shoot it into the ballistic gel.
Do you have
And
some?
I do have.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I need to remelt it and
Gotcha.
from the last project forever ago, but remelt it and just see what they do. Obviously, you're going to get higher velocity, but I don't think that's going to necessarily mean higher penetration. If you take, like, for example, like a 17 HMR, it seems to dump most of its energy in the first little bit, right? Because it's really fast and lightweight bullet. But if you take something that's a little bit heavier, like a 22 mag, then you'll get more penetration out of stuff.
A lot of that has to do with surface area and
Yeah.
bullet construction, and the zinc with a flat
Flat tip.
tip, maybe not hollow. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah,
what the
so
differences
it's
are.
all guesses until you actually test it.
So there's a lot of material there that we can test, and
Yeah.
it is pretty fascinating. It really
Now,
is.
the other thing is we tested with my 44 mag revolver
Oh yeah.
the mold we mentioned earlier today. It's the NOA 434-234-RF. So it normally casts just short of 240 grain lead bullet, and that one came out at about 143 grains. And I had 3 different loadings with 3 different powders, and basically we tested Bullseye, Power Pistol, and Unique. And I would have the listeners guess which one they thought would be.
I was just going to say, which one was the fastest?
It was Power Pistol.
Power Pistol.
Yes,
Oh, darn.
and it was a hefty load. I think it was 15.2 grains of Power Pistol. That's quite a bit of pistol powder
It is.
in a 44 mag. But
Yeah.
if you did that with a lead bullet, you'd probably blow up your gun.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. So,
But you got your starting points off of
the quick load.
quick load, so that's good.
Yeah, and what was interesting is some of them you would in the revolver you'd see a slight flattening of the primers versus the 16-inch lever gun, the Rossi 92. It rounded primers, no signs of pressure at all.
Gotcha.
So that was just kind of an interesting thing. I thought it would probably be like the opposite, since the longer barrel maybe build up pressure more or something. Anyways,
Yeah, that is
so
interesting.
in the fastest load of Power Pistol, we got about 2175 feet per second in the 16-inch, and that's crazy because it's a 16-inch. Just
Yeah.
Rossi 92 and 44 mag.
Yeah.
That thing was screaming out of that. And then
Pretty cool.
in the Ruger and that one has a long barrel too. It's like a
8
inch,
something like that.
Something like
Yeah.
the Ruger Super Red Hawk. Then it really didn't lose that much velocity. And I think it's because of the faster pistol powders. But we were getting 1950 feet per second.
That would indicate that it's probably burnt by the time it.
Yeah, most of it's
consumed
burnt.
all of the
And that's
powder.
when I was looking at the loads and stuff. I'd look at the percentage of powder burned because you can put
Oh,
your
it has
barrel
that
length.
on it?
Yeah,
No
you
kidding.
in the ballistic estimation and stuff.
No, what did it say?
And
that-
so that's what I go for, is having a higher percentage of the powder burned.
sure, for the shorter barrel, and then it's okay. For
But it still gained velocity with the longer barrel.
yeah,
But
interesting.
That was really interesting. So we shot some milk jugs filled with water, and it was like shooting it with a high velocity type
It was
cartridge.
It really knocked the crap out of them.
Yeah, I mean, just a couple of the jugs. I have some. If you guys have Instagram, check it out. I have a couple reels that show some of the stuff. But one of them, you see the 44 mag, just it blows up the jug, but in slow motion, you see that it just splits in half.
Right in half.
Right in half.
I'm gonna have to get me the Instagrams. What is
Yeah.
your Instagram handle?
It's
Do
like
they know?
Full lead taco
Full lead,
or
okay.
something like that.
Gotcha.
Full.lead.taco or full lead taco.
Gotcha.
Anyways,
just so they know.
yeah, it's pretty cool. So we have some slow motion footage of that. Then we took those same bullets, the zinc loads with the power pistol, because we wanted the fastest velocity, and we took it and shot some mild steel plates that Generous Stan provided. And
It's part of the testing facilities.
so we took the thinnest one, which
Yeah.
was what, 1/4 inch?
Yeah, actually, it might have been a little less than that, maybe 3/16, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways.
So it's thinner stuff.
Yeah, so I'll have to measure it to see, but my thought or my guess was I thought for sure it would just blow right through, like no problem.
Yeah,
And did you see that?
I haven't seen it yet.
What would your guess be?
My guess would have been on the thin plate, the thinnest plate.
Yeah, the thinnest one.
Maybe 1/8 of an inch. I bet it's not much more than 3/16. I thought it'd go right through it.
Yeah.
44 mag, right?
44 mag.
I'd expect it to go right through it.
So yeah, in the revolver we shot it, and it almost the back side of the steel plate bulged out so far it looked like half the bullet was sticking out the back.
Was the steel sort of stretching? You could see
the steel stretched.
striations
Yeah.
on it. It just hadn't.
It just didn't burst through.
See, and then if you shoot it with a high velocity round, it just punches
Yeah,
right
it usually
through
punches right through.
like a wad cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these are, they do have a little flat nose.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
wonder if that comes into play. If it was a pointy nose, I wonder if it would have blasted through or not. But the lever gun, same thing, except it just stretched the
A little
steel
further.
a little bit further.
No kidding. So it means it's just
thin-
slowing down gradually, probably.
So
instead of
yeah, it just
ripping
like
through it.
pop and then just
And the other stuff, well, you never did find any.
yeah, I couldn't
projectiles.
find the projectiles. Like so we don't know if it just shattered and whatever, or if half of it shattered and half of it didn't, or what.
On the water jugs, could you see the projectile going in, or are you going that slow that you can't see that?
You just see the milk jugs getting demolished.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just exploding.
So that's some more fodder for testing too.
Yeah.
Just to see how frangible the stuff is.
So if the listeners have some things that they want us to test, obviously it'll take us a long time to get to it, but we will take it into consideration, actually try to do.
Well, it was mentioned
stuff.
the barrels. We ought to inspect the barrels. Do you have a barrel?
Yeah, what I want to do for that
camera?
is I want to try and get the Zinc going like rifle speeds, like jacketed bullet speeds.
Really?
And I have one of those AR-10s, the cheap ones from Bear Creek, and also a Bear Creek 300 Blackout upper and 223 556 upper.
Wow.
And I bought those with the sole purpose of shooting them out with zinc and see like how many rounds does it take to shoot them out with zinc, or if
it does.
it does. There's a lot of just, I don't know what you call them, wives' tales of zinc bullets. I've studied a lot online, and one guy on one of the forums was saying, "Oh, don't shoot zinc. I shot 1,000 rounds in my revolver and had to replace the barrel." And so part of that, I'm wondering, like, okay, well, what was wrong with the barrel? Did you just burn out all the rifling? Was did you not size it properly? Or so you don't know, and he didn't have any other data to back up or to go with it to help you out. So
Sort of uncharted territory.
yeah, it
really.
is. So I probably won't shoot zinc a ton, and I mean I don't think it hurts to do some, but
Well,
you know,
it'd
I
be
don't want to
interesting
shoot it in some of my really nice rifles, like surplus rifles or something.
Sure, until you know
can't
what
replace.
it's going to do.
Yeah.
But I imagine it might be different cleaning. What solvents work on zinc versus lead and
Yeah, I don't know.
copper. There's not a lot out there, but
Yeah, and I'm shooting these zinc bullets uncoated. They're just
straight out.
cast and sized.
They look great.
They do look really good.
I like
They're
the way they
shiny
look.
and everything.
Yeah, but no, we could test. There's a ton of things to test, but
But yeah, I do want to shoot some like in the 308, just in an AR-10, and just
I
see
would
how.
imagine going that fast. Well, we talked about the plated bullets spinning apart. You don't think
Zinc's gonna be
zinc
tougher
would go-
than-
it would
than
be
plated.
tougher than plated or even lead.
Yeah,
So I don't know, but I've heard of people spinning them apart. for
yeah,
sure.
and that might be what will happen. We don't know,
Yeah.
but we won't know until we try.
yeah, there you go.
And maybe it's the
Good stuff.
crunchiness of the zinc that's crunching up a bore.
There
Who
you
knows?
go. Well, there's also the thing of the controversy of people saying, "Oh, I won't shoot steel."
Oh, yeah.
Through my rifle because it wears it out, and I don't know. Maybe if you do enough of it, it might. But
Yeah.
you're gonna have to. I think you're gonna
Now
have to shoot a lot.
I did read an article on Lucky Gunner where they were basically burning out AR barrels and
Oh, really?
doing some tests with
Yes, look
steel cased ammo.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And what they noticed was that the barrels kind of wore out prematurely with the steel case, but it was also because those had a steel core.
Oh, okay.
So the steel cased ammo did have steel core, and so they are thinking that had something to do with it.
Well, the case pertains to the chamber, and the bullet,
Yeah.
the steel bullet, steel core bullet pertains to the barrel. But
Yeah, so I'm not saying that the
Yeah.
steel case had anything to do with the bore,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the fact that the steel cased ammo had a steel core.
yeah, I'm pretty ignorant on all of this stuff, so
Yeah.
it is fascinating. If you got time to look into it, it's
You know,
really interesting.
if we're talking apocalypse, and so here's maybe some reasons, before knowing any detrimental things to guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you choose to shoot zinc bullets, right? So one is maybe first off, money. So zinc wheel weights, that's usually what gets thrown away or sent back to the recycler. So if you have access to wheel weights and you sort them, you get your zinc and then you get your lead. There's probably very few lead ones nowadays, but that's a free metal that you can turn into bullets.
Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like you to sit down, or I would like to sit down with you and compare the zinc, the lead, and then purchased bullets, maybe
copper.
plated and or the regular bullets, and list all of the equipment you need for each one, because you got to buy a pot,
Yeah.
you got to buy molds, you got to take the time to do it and everything like that. And in the end, there's going to be a break-even point where one is more economical than the other.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see that. But
Yeah, and then here's
in
another.
an apocalypse
Yeah.
situation, if you have the pot and everything, that's the way to go. I mean, if
Yeah.
you can't get anything else.
Well, so apocalyptic scenario where it's free, it's available, you can actually do it. It's a little bit tougher, harder to cast than lead, but you can also make them go faster. So
There you go.
So that's another reason why you may consider shooting zinc, is if you want something that shoots fast. And
Well, that's why I think the 223 would be really cool.
I think it would be crazy to shoot one of the, like a jackrabbit or something with that 44 mag going, 2,200 feet per second.
You
That's
wouldn't have much left.
Yeah.
I don't think, if you hit him.
yeah.
So,
So there's that reason, and then the properties of zinc. You don't have to coat them, so. Or at least I don't think you do. I'm not, because I think it has some lubricity properties. So you don't have to, you just cast and size. So there's a time saving.
oh, you do
part
have
of
to
it.
size them, though?
You do have to size them if they're not the right size.
Oh, okay.
So if they cast oversized.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So for the 223, would that be cast oversized?
Yeah.
You need to size that down. I
Probably. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, there are potential reasons why you'd want to use zinc. And let's say zinc is hard on barrels, right? But let's say with the cost of ammo being a certain price, how cheap can you get an AR-15 barrel? They're pretty cheap. So would the cost, you'd say how much to reloading projectiles, jacketed projectiles, how much do they cost in comparison, or factory ammo in comparison to free zinc? How many bullets would you have to shoot of zinc to replace a barrel?
I think we had to work that out.
So, and some of these barrels are cheap. You can get,
$50.
50 to like $100.
I've seen them for less than that on Bear Creek.
Yeah. So,
and if you're buying the barrel with the eye toward shooting zinc, so you're not going for the high accuracy, the really precision barrel.
Yeah.
You can compromise that way too.
Yeah. So there's some people might say, oh, well, zinc will burn out your barrel and let's say it's like 3,000 rounds. Well, if you have the cost savings of shooting zinc for 3,000 rounds, that easily pays for a barrel.
Yeah. And there's also the time and the satisfaction factor too.
Yeah.
You can't I guess each person has to monetize that or put the value on the satisfaction. I know reloading 9mm right now is not that much cheaper than just buying it.
Oh, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the prices have gone up. And I still have the same cost of the components that I bought before. But, there's satisfaction in doing a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, and there are specific reasons why you'd want to shoot lead bullets too, for like if you shoot steel targets a lot, then I should do a video on top 10 reasons to shoot cast
I think
lead
we
bullets.
Should. Being so frangible, both lead and presumably the zinc, it would be interesting to see that too.
Yeah.
I'd also like to see, if you're in an apocalyptic situation, how it would do on body armor.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows?
So there could be a reason for, a more serious bullet in that situation. But, and it kind of brings up the primer thing for me too. Is it easier just to buy and stockpile? Or even go black powder?
Or what if you do both?
Yeah.
Maybe you buy a bunch of primers, but then you take part of that money that you would have bought like a huge load of primers, and then maybe you spend a little bit and get some priming compound and the little NOE loader,
I know. I'm intrigued by that.
It all depends on the need, for, say there's a guy who makes a lot of money, he would just look at that and laugh and say, oh, people are so stupid. Why? Your time's worth more than that. But what if you're retired and your time is worth not that?
Exactly. Or you just enjoy doing it.
Yeah. So it's hard for, you can't really make statements to say that this is bad or this is good because someone might have a purpose for it.
Yeah.
And reason. So
absolutely.
And that's probably the case with the zinc bullets.
Yeah. Anyway, it was really fun, and we need to do it more.
Yeah.
Sure. We need
to do another wrench day,
so we need to get out and do it some more.
And what I plan on doing is I have those zinc 308 loads, so we need to test accuracy and see if it's a viable, like chronograph them, so we get speeds, and because those are big bullets, they're like 300 blackout sized bullets in a 308 case that weigh about like 140 or 150 grains, something like that.
Huh.
So it'll be interesting.
I've got some 308s. I really want to see how that goes.
Or maybe it was 130 something grains. Yeah, 132 grains.
Yeah, you could be looking at 3,000 feet of.
Well, but you can't get that much powder in there.
I was going to say, depending on the powder,
you got to use it a little bit. Anyways, it gets tricky when you look at that stuff. So
yeah.
But what I want to do is also keep a track of round count on each of those uppers, and then that way we can document. And then if we do need to replace the barrel after a certain amount of firings, then you can say, well, a barrel costs this much. You have this much in savings from the projectiles. Is that worth it to you? So if someone has to pay for zinc, then maybe it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us today for this podcast.
Yeah. Any questions, Taco will answer them.
Yeah. Send your feedback to concealedtacodudes@gmail.com.
And we want to thank Jason for being so quiet. We asked him after he did his what he did with guns to be quiet. So thank you, Jason.
No, he's okay.
Okay.
No, Jason had to step out. So
anyway, get out and take somebody shooting.
Yes,
enjoy the weather.
Stay safe. Have
Exercise
fun.
your Second Amendment rights.
I'll be Jason. And be nice.
Be nice. See ya. Welcome, everyone, to the Concealed Taco Dude podcast.
The Poscast.
Podcast.
Let's take two.
Take two.